Welcome back to the All I Ever Wanted podcast. We did something a little different today. We put a call out to the city to come down for brunch here at Central Social Hall. You know this is where we film, but today we're doing it in front of this sign behind the bar, which is super cool. And we thought, you know what, we'll open up the mic to anyone who wants to come talk to us about whatever they want to talk to. You got your 3 minutes like we promised you. And we don't cancel anybody. We can talk about absolutely anything. So, first guest here, his name's Jarek. I'm going to throw it to him. Thanks for being on.
Thank you.
What can you tell us about you? What do you want to talk about?
All right. Well, thanks for having this brunch
Not
today, Chris and Mac. That's very generous of you guys. I'll just talk real quick. I run a charity hockey game here in the city. This will be our 10th year coming up on April 1st.
Wow.
I started this about 12 years ago. We missed a couple of years. There's COVID and whatnot. But we raise money for the Stollery. So we play a game of mediocre to bad hockey at the Ice Palace at West Edmonton Mall.
At least you're honest. Cool.
Yeah, Edmonton versus Calgary. It's just our offices in the financial business. And so then afterwards we do a reception at the Fantasyland Hotel. We've got a live band, that type of thing. But it's pretty cool because we're going to hopefully cross this year $500,000 given to the Stollery in the past will be our seventh
$500,000
time doing this for the Stollery. So
damn.
Yeah.
Good on you, brother. That is awesome. What's the date for that?
April 1st.
April 1st.
No April Fool's joke either. So.
Wow, that's a couple. What are we sitting at right now? That's 3 weeks away.
Yeah, it's a few weeks away. So we're just, if anyone's watching this and wants to support the event through silent auction items or donations, then feel free to reach out to me. It's Jarek Chin on my Instagram handle, so JarekChin, or just search me on Google. You'll find my contact.
We'll make sure producer Mac puts the links up for you.
Cool.
Anything else you want to say? What's going on? You got anything else you're winning at life? What's going? I heard you have a Tesla. You want to talk about that?
That's all good. It's good on gas. We'll say that.
It's good. Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks, brother. Appreciate you coming on.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
All right. Next guest. What's your name?
Michelle DeBay.
Happy to meet you, Michelle.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
What can we talk about?
We can talk about anything you want, but Mick was telling me that you're a fitness guy.
I really do. We have a fitness series. For me, I kind of let myself go over COVID. I'm not going to lie. I was up probably 24, 25 pounds. I've showed the pictures as we're progressing, but I'm trying to get it back into my lifestyle. Yes. Yeah.
So I think a lot of people can identify with that, myself included. And I was dealing with some health issues, but also COVID, you're not seeing people, you get lazy, you don't do your regular routine. So I was telling Mick that I went back to the gym recently, and I'm 36 days into going every single day. And about 10 days in, I was feeling so great. I'm leaving the gym, I'm driving in my car, and I'm like, I just feel amazing. And you want to tell somebody, but you're like, I can't just call people and say, oh my God, I feel so great. Like, you feel like you're crazy, right? So I got home, and as the universe works, I sat down with a coffee and I opened up my phone, and I saw this video popped up. And it was Kelly McGonigal had this whole video on movement. She's a Stanford psychologist with a PhD.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yep.
And she had won a Visionary Award because of an interpretation of research into layman's terms that you and I can understand. So when she was doing this research on movement, because she wrote a book called The Joy of Movement, and what she had discovered, the word hope molecules that was kind of put in brackets in this little bits of research here and there. And again, so what the research shows is that doctors have always told us to add exercise.
Yes, that's
But
understood.
they haven't exactly told us why. And it wasn't until the last decade they actually knew this information, that when you contract your muscles, we actually have our own built-in pharmacy, and our body manufactures and releases myokines that are good for every system of our body. So you have myokines that will lower your blood pressure, myokines that will regulate your blood sugar, myokines that are good for your cardiovascular system. But as someone who's very passionate about mental health, because I lost my husband to suicide in 2017, after years of trauma and struggle, my own children have their own struggles with mental health. The word hope molecules really stuck out to me. And so the thing is that when we move our bodies, it can actually change the structure and function of our brain.
Yes. Listen to this.
The immediate effect is that a quick dose of an antidepressant is what it will give you, the quick dose. But over time, if we're moving our bodies and we're doing so on a regular basis, we can actually change the structure and the function of our brain so that we're more resilient to stress. We don't have as much anxiety, and we actually have more control over ourselves and how we interpret situations. That's huge to me, and I thought, I'm not. There's a whole thing with the pharmaceutical companies and
we'll go into that.
We won't go into that because I'm not saying that I'm against medication. I'm just saying if we empower people to say this, you do have this amount of control over your body. Whether you decide to take medication or not, you have this much control over your body. So 36 days in, I can say, as you said, we all over COVID let ourselves go a little, and to me, it's more than just getting fit and dropping dress sizes, and that's a natural consequence. So being grateful because your clothes fit better, and being grateful because your body's stronger, but also the effects, right? The confidence, you walk differently, you feel differently,
all of that.
And every day you just feel stronger and ready to tackle the day. And now it's not one of those things people say, I don't have time to go to the gym. It's like time doesn't fall out of the sky. I work sometimes 3 jobs, like a full-time job and 2 part-time jobs. Time's not like I'm like grabbing time out of the sky, but you make time for the things that are important to you. So I started going to the gym before I go to work, and that's my priority, and everything comes around that. And I feel fantastic.
I like the ability, like you said, I like that word hope, but
hope
I like
molecules.
The ability, once you get going in that routine, your ability to comprehend stresses and your ability to cope expands greatly. You just go into everything with a positive mindset. So you're basically, instead of being like, I'll procrastinate, I don't really want to do that right now. It's no, let's get on it.
Yeah.
Let's get on it. You attack everything like you're ready. Your capacity for what used to be stress is now just another task you're going to accomplish.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that mentality.
Yeah, and I was leaving the gym the other day when a bunch of fires happened at work, and I had to work my other job as well. And I remember how differently I handled it. Instead of immediately being, oh my God, my day's ruined and this and this and this, it was kind of like, okay.
You used to panic, now it's call to action. You didn't even,
Yeah, instead of the reactionary, you're going to handle it, and you're going to handle it without your blood boiling up to here first and causing yourself a whole bunch of undue stress. So that's, I use the words every day, hope molecules, because I think it's just such a fascinating and amazing thing to know that our bodies were actually designed to help and heal ourselves. Obviously, we need to put in some of the work, but we can make those choices that we can live a better life. And I want to be able to keep up with my kids. I actually want to surpass them. My goal is to get younger next year.
Nothing wrong with that one.
Right?
That's something, if you could bottle that, you'd be the next, you'd be the first actual trillionaire.
I find myself actually being triggered when people say, we're getting old or this or that. And I'm like, aging is a natural process. Getting old's a choice. I'm not doing it. I'm not going
Just
there.
be the youngest version of whatever age you are.
Exactly.
The number is going to go up, but it's how you perceive yourself at that age.
And I mean, and aging is a privilege and a blessing. It's denied to many people. So I'm never going to say, it's not the age that matters to me, but I'm not ready to get old, and I'm not going to do it willingly.
My age right now didn't exist 100 years ago.
Yeah.
So whether you want to call that medical or we know more about our bodies at this point, I wouldn't even be existing 100 years ago. So this is a privilege to be able to be anything over 35 is a privilege compared to what our great grandparents were expected to get to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much
for nice chatting with you.
All right, next up, we got another guest who's going to talk about something that I'm sure all of you want to know about. Introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Mveli. I'm original from South Africa.
South Africa, right?
I've been in Canada for 17 years.
17.
I know. So.
Wait, I gotta ask.
Okay.
What did you come to Canada for?
Yay. Okay, so I know it's a detour because from South Africa I went to Boston.
Boston?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I have a background in food in the hospitality industry. So
we're going to get along well.
You like
food? I'm Italian. I love food.
Oh, me too.
Okay.
So I was in the food and beverage industry. So as a result, I was recruited by Disney. I was in Florida, Orlando for 2 years. So when they opened their Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge, I was part of the team, of the opening team of the Disney's Animal Kingdom Lodge. So my background...
This could be the coolest person we've ever had on the podcast.
So that's why I was telling you before, Chris, that I love traveling, because when I was exposed to that, I was 20, I'm still 21, 22, I'm 47 now. Yeah. So I was
47.
I'm 47. So I was like, you know what?
So we need to talk about this anti-aging thing you have. How do you look at this? Look at the skin on this lady.
Just don't live in my career, South Africa.
My goodness.
Yeah, I don't want to say black don't crack, but I don't. So I have that background, and then also being raised by my grandparents who were entrepreneurs who ran the business ever since I was alive. So I knew deep down inside that, you know what, I love cooking, it's my passion, and I did the food service management, but you know what, there's just this missing thing. All I ever wanted, I want to just own my own business. I don't know how to. However, I didn't get there because I was like, okay, how do I start this? You know, like you feel so discouraged. Sometimes you see all these people cooking. Everybody has a restaurant, and they're like, okay, what is it that I can create, that I can have, that I can make that's going to stand out?
From in here.
Exactly,
yes.
from in here.
Yes.
And then again, being in Canada, I'm like, okay, I'm just good at doing my African stuff, right? So which client, who's my clientele, you know? Is Chris gonna come and eat my salsa, you know?
Damn right
my
I will.
tribe, I know, right? So I'm like, you know what? Okay, no. So I also, I was working in retail. I was a manager in retail for 10 years here in Canada. Okay. So after that, it was not working out because I'm like, okay, I don't see myself being able to travel if I'm just really working in retail.
A lot of hours at a
Exactly, and not only that, there's so much block time. Oh, you can't go during this time. And all the times that I could not go, I could not travel, it's when all my family is free. So I said, something has gotta change. This is not working out. So a friend of mine I came across who was running a clinic business at the time, she said, Velu, why don't you try this? Because you can make your own schedule, you can have your own employees, you can do this. I mean, it sounded so easy. So I'm like, you know what the heck? I'll still manage here in retail. However, I'll start a little bit of a clinic business.
Side hustles. Are you guys listening to this?
I know, right? So we, me and my husband, we were working, having our own jobs, but then we had a side hustle. And guess what? We will go and scrub those toilets ourselves. We were cleaning. So I was like, this is interesting. This is nice. I'm kind of enjoying it. I'm cleaning it at home anyway. I might as well go clean for money, right?
And for money.
Exactly. I might as well make this thing right. So I did. So we registered our business. We had our licensing and everything. And then we got our first contracts in 2016. So ever since then, I've never worked for anybody else. I'm running our cleaning company, and
there you go, entrepreneur life.
And I
love
know,
that.
and I love it. I mean, of course, there's some challenging things because we have to be in it. But guess what, Chris? I'm so happy because it's for me. You know, when you're working your butt off and it's yours, there is nothing that is more liberating than that. So
Owning
now,
your
ever since
time.
when I used to work in retail, can I tell you something? I've never been on vacation. Never.
20 years I was never on
Never
vacation.
been on vacation. The 1 year I started cleaning full time, I've been on vacation. I've been in Mexico, Jamaica, Cancun, everywhere, Ireland. I'm like, woo,
Does this sound terrible?
I'm like, I love this. So honestly, right now, what I want to do, I really want to expand and get more contracts on my own, because also, again, in this industry, if you are not these big guys, you know what I mean? Like being a very small company, it's so hard to just get your own contract,
And we'll have her links in the video here. Don't worry.
Yeah.
You reach out if you're in the Edmonton area.
Yes, please do forever, like be a subcontractor for somebody else, but I just want to be for me, because I've already saw it's working and I'm loving it, and I can go on vacation wherever I want. Nobody's gonna tell me that, oh, then you can't, this is blocked, oh, this is blocked time. So that's why. So I'm like, yay.
How much coffee have you had this morning?
3 cups.
I love it.
I told you, I said, you know what, let's just stop, okay? I never said no to coffee, but we're gonna end because this is starting to get Yeah.
Wow, all right.
So happy. I mean, I like I was saying to you, this is my first time here. I was so happy when my friend Pam invited me here because I'm not shy, but I'm usually scared to just come fast, right? But when the vibe, you guys, there's just a vibe here that is, that's attracting. There's this attraction vibe.
You can't see her off the camera, but Pam is the complete opposite. She says 3 words and then puts her head back down and goes to the booth.
Pam, you gotta stop that. You gotta
That's right. We're
look
getting her
at
in
him
gear.
and look at him, and then you just get
Energy.
the vibe. You get on with the program, and that, right?
Yeah,
I'm
we're
just
embarrassing her
loving it.
now.
I know, right?
She's not even on the
Thank
camera
you.
and she's embarrassed.
So yeah, so
I gotta
I'm
ask.
happy.
Gotta
Yes.
ask. Favorite place you've been in the world?
Okay, maybe not in the world, but favorite place that I've been to and I loved it. Oh my goodness, there's a couple of them.
I know.
Turkey, Istanbul, Izmir, I have to say. Turkey, it was my favorite.
Bucket list. I want to be in
It
Istanbul.
was, you
so
have to.
bad.
Food, you said you love food, right? Oh my goodness, they have the best food ever. Exactly.
I gotta.
Yeah,
I gotta plan
to
another
Turkey.
trip. I gotta
You
plan
have
another
to.
trip.
Yeah,
I love
you
this.
have to. Turkey and Greece. Oh my goodness, I love it. I love food. Yeah.
I love your energy. Thanks so
Awesome.
much for coming
Thank you
on.
so much for having me here.
So our
Be
link's going to
back.
be in there. Definitely reach out, and I think we're going to
Awesome.
have her come back on.
Yes.
Pam, can you arrange that?
I
We need to
wanna
do an
come
interview
back.
with just her.
Yay!
All right.
Woohoo! Thank
Cool.
you so
We'll be
much.
right back
Chris.
at you. Thank you.
Awesome.
All right. So who we got next is the youngest member of the Edmonton Equity Group. That's right. He's excited to tell you everything he knows about it. Uh-huh. That's right. Mm-hmm. How excited are you to be an entrepreneur? Tell me about it. Whoa. Whoa. Ah. Ooh. Uh-huh. You don't say. Oh, yeah, I know. Hey, what do you think about money? Ooh, tell us about money. What does make you happy? Boobies? Do you like boobies? We all like boobies. Yeah. Okay, all right. Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming out, buddy. There we go. Baseball. It's like, no, I want out of here. All right. Hey, next guest, Georgia, and she's here to talk about the nonprofits and what go. Tell me about the world of nonprofit organizations. What does that term even mean?
I feel like it blankets like a lot of different groups, and just for me myself, it's anything that's working towards making the world a better place, giving back. It's a very different environment to be in than the traditional for-profit kind of world, but it's really fun and it's a very, very rewarding sector.
I was going to say, it must feel good to know that you're actually changing lives, but it must involve a lot of volunteer time, because obviously you can't be compensated in a structure like that. So how much time do you, well, maybe I'm asking you wrong, what type of time do you give into programs like, because you've got a lot of other things to go on like everybody else, you got a lot of things to go happen in your life. How do you make the time, and roughly how much time weekly or monthly do you put into nonprofit work?
So my full-time job is with a nonprofit, so I do
okay.
get paid.
Okay.
I work in fund development managing, so I professionally raise money. Obviously, it's not like a typical structure like some other jobs in the nonprofit world. You can't make commission because that's unethical that way. But I still get paid for the work that I do, and I get to learn a lot, because in nonprofits you wear a lot of hats. So even though I'm in fund development, I also do the social media, and I go to some of our programs, and I get to work with some of the kids. So
We do a lot of child-based.
Yeah.
That's kind of like where we come from. We work with almost every child-based organization in Edmonton, so that's very cool.
Yeah, and so it's 40 hours a week on that, and then back in October, my mother and I officially registered our nonprofit that we own together. So
your own.
Yeah, so
Big
that
steps.
one is on top of my 40 hours a week kind of thing, and that's my volunteer time, but I'm also building a brand and around that nonprofit. It's a crisis response for now, and just being able to help. And
Same thing, targeted for youth?
it's targeted to newcomers from Ukraine.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah.
Yes, that's...
So that's a really rewarding thing too. It's very heartbreaking, and just great that you can provide resources and support. And I've gotten to meet some really, really awesome people who I get to call friends now.
Some crazy stories you must hear, eh?
Yeah, we're really lucky to have them here in Edmonton, and very hardworking.
Huge Ukrainian population here in Edmonton. I mean, I grew up on a farm, and rural Alberta is Ukrainian farmers. So
Oh yeah.
some of the hardest working people you're ever going to meet, and they don't really want trouble. They just, hey, let us work our land. We're going to build families. We're going to generationally keep getting better and better and better. It's like, this is why Canada is one of the greatest places in the world, because maybe the greatest place in the world, because you can come be something special without the world, putting you in a box or telling you what you can or can't do.
I think we take for granted like how lucky we are to live here,
yes.
And it is really cool that there's so many different cultures here that we get to welcome. Like,
and we're stronger
here.
for it.
Absolutely.
And the food. If any of you don't like Ukrainian food, you do not like food. I'm sorry.
We just entered a venture where we're actually doing Ukrainian food. The newcomers cook it, and then we sell it. And it's great because they don't need to know English to do that.
Here, just tell me when you're selling it. We're in. We'll actually throw another event like this straight up. Just Ukrainian. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's great because they're able to make money while they're still learning English. It's a safe environment. They get to create recipes that remind them of home, or remind them of the country that they left. But yeah, we went a little too hard. So in our first 48 hours, we had over 300 orders. So we
food
really
left for us. Okay.
Really dove in, and so now we're starting to get the hang of it. But yeah, they totally took over in the kitchen, got all these orders fulfilled, and it was super delicious.
Do you have a link for that you want us to provide, or is that more of a side thing?
If you want to, yeah.
Sure, we'll make sure that we get it, and we'll put a little flash here at the bottom of the screen for you to get a hold of Georgia or anyone else in the organization where you could get some Ukrainian food made from authentic people.
Yes.
Ooh, we love authentic people. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for being on, Georgia. That's cool.
Thanks for having me.
Super cool. Another local business, Food in the Nude. They do gluten-free, dairy-free. We're going to kind of ruin the dairy-free with the ice cream, but got some chocolate, warmed up chocolate donuts. Put that back. Let's see if we can do this. Oh, man. Chef, what kind of ice cream is this? Vanilla bourbon, I believe. Is this Little Bear? Vanilla bourbon. There we go.
My name's Brittany, and I'm short as
Yeah. All right, our next guest you may have seen on the channel months ago, actually last summer with the financial chats the ladies were discussing. Looks a little different. This is Brittany. Can you explain why you look a little different? Because you shocked the hell out of all your friends in the last few months.
Probably because I went from 215 pounds down to 140 in less than a year.
Wow. Yes, let's just stop and slow clap that one. Now, are you going to explain how you did it? Because it's probably not what everybody else thinks, like it's not some Instagram fad. What did you do to get healthier?
I did the complete opposite of what everybody told me to, because I tried the conventional methods. I was in the gym 3-4 hours a day, 6 days a week. I counted every macro I ate. If it was a piece of rice, it was weighed. If it was chicken, it was weighed. I counted everything. And in 6 months, I lost 4 pounds doing that. And that was it.
That's a really good rate of return.
Yeah, no, and I got so frustrated. I was so done. And then I started using my time to research. So if I was at work, I was listening to podcasts or audiobooks by doctors. Not the typical doctors that everybody else agrees with and listens to. I was learning about people who had different disorders that aren't really talked about quite often, insulin resistance, stuff like that.
Yes.
And all of the research that I did led back to everything I was dealing with. So then I started with intermittent fasting. I started with 16 and 8 hours a day. I would wake up in the morning, I would go to work, I would have nothing but green tea in the morning until about lunchtime. And then I would have some lunch, and then nothing for snacks in the afternoon other than potentially a protein shake. And then I would go home, make dinner for my family, have dinner, and then nothing but water again until about lunch the next day at work. And I started out that way. And then I slowly, as I learned more and more, started cutting out processed foods and sugars until I got to the point where, and a lot of people are going to hate on it, and a lot of people are going to shit on the fact that when you say the word keto, they lose their ever-loving minds. My idea of keto and what the majority of people's version of keto is a completely different thing.
Huge misconception about what true keto is.
I was not sitting and eating bacon dipped in mayo covered in cheese. That is what the general society seems to think keto is. I was eating I was going to my local butcher and buying fresh steak. I was getting shrimp and I was getting chicken, and I was eating that with vegetables, peppers, onions, mushrooms, asparagus, broccoli.
So a really full rounded meal.
Yes, but I wasn't eating, nothing was processed. Nothing was full, there was no sugar.
Nothing out of a box, nothing pre-made, yeah.
I was cooking everything I ate, other than, and honestly for the first 30 days, I would not go out to eat to a restaurant, and not because I felt like I couldn't. I was just, if I was going to do this, I was going to do it the right way, and I was going to give it 100% before I would say that it failed. So for the first 30 days, everything that went into my body was cooked by me. And so I started dropping weight like you wouldn't imagine. For the first time in my life, it came with ease. I wasn't going to the gym anymore. To be completely honest, I had stopped going to the gym. I was tired from starting a new job and being a mom and everything else in the world. So I took a break from the gym after burnout, and I just focused solely on my diet. And in the first 4 months, I dropped 40 pounds.
Wow. Oh, wow.
And like,
and did you feel bad? Like, was it too quick?
No, I felt great. It was everything I wanted, because the faster I was losing weight, the more motivated I was to keep it up. Because finally, I found something that worked. After years of trying everybody else's methods and everything that everybody wanted me to do, I found something that worked for me. So I would go to work, I would come home, I would cook some, I ate ribeye steak like nobody's business. That was my favorite food for the longest time, right? Everybody's like, oh, keto's so bad, you're so deprived, you can't have carbs. I ate steak with shrimp and peppers and onions and mushrooms 6 days a week.
What most of you would love to order if you went out to a restaurant.
Yeah, and I happened to be a semi-decent cook, so I was cooking it at home by myself, or for myself. And that's what I was eating. And then after the first 30 days, I started kind of figuring out which restaurants I could go to and where I could get a clean source of protein and some veggies. If I was going out, somebody wanted to go for a burger, I would ask for my burger on a bed of shredded lettuce instead of a bun, and I would eat it. I don't like lettuce wrapped burgers. I call them handheld salads. So I got my salad in a bowl and I ate it with a fork and a knife.
Handheld salad.
So yeah, that's kind of what worked for me. I've since gotten back into the gym because, I mean, I won't say the gym isn't important by any means, because it is. You can drop weight like crazy, but you're still not going to be happy. You're still not going to have the aesthetic you want, because you're not going to have any muscle either. If you just want to be skinny, if you just want to be a stick, then yeah, diet's all you need. But if you want to be a fully rounded out healthy person and have the physique you want, then yes, you are going to have to go to the gym and build some muscle.
Cool. I love how you came back to that at the end, because you basically said, you took the responsibility to make that change in your life. You did all the research, tried what everybody else said, and then you're like, no, I have to work for me, not what someone else says works. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, if you guys have any other questions about like stuff like that, reach out and we can get Brittany back on at another time. But I want to ask her one question, because car group here, it's only March. How much you dying to get that car out? If you remember, she's got the Alpha 4C that we did the video on. It's one of our most watched videos.
I did the most depressing thing the other day.
Ooh.
I checked the weather for the rest of March.
Just to see if there was a day you could pull your car out.
I have a history of, well, when I had the Camaro, I had a history of having it out by the 1st of April every year. It's just, that was the rule. It was a Camaro. So, but with the Alpha,
you're going to get into a lot of trouble if you take that out.
I try to wait a little bit till it's actually nice and weather appropriate out. I would still like to have it out by the first, second week of April. I need octane therapy. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I need it. I miss it.
Sorry guys, she's taken.
So I looked at the weather report, and we don't have a single positive temperature until after April 1st, and I was crushed. I shouldn't have did that, because I don't normally look at the weather. I'm a get ready, go outside, and hope for the best kind of person. Yeah. So when I looked at the weather and saw that it's going to be a bit into April before I can get that car out, it wasn't a good day for me.
All right, she's going to have tears right away, so we're going to end it there. Thanks, Brittany. Appreciate you coming on.
For sure.